Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Urgida's news broadcast. My name is Talita Siland, and today I'll be reading the news for you. Ariela Cromotico is now officially president of Urgida. The people have voted, and for the next 5 years, she will be leading our nation. Stay tuned as after today's news, the president will make her first official appearance. Urgida has officially become a member of the CARICOM. The Caribbean Community and Common Market is a group of 20 developing countries in the Caribbean that have come together to form an economic and political community that works together to shape policies for the region and encourages economic growth and trade. The Caribbean Community and Common Market is a regional group of nations that encourages common policies and economic growth across 20 nations, including 15 full-time members and 5 associate members. One of the CARICOM current goals is to establish a free trade zone and single market for increased trade and economic growth in the region. My co-news host of Urgent News will be continuing today.
Good morning, everyone. I am Tiffany Young, and I will be continuing with the news. Next, we have rumors have been floating around that the UUC is considering increasing the prices of electricity. Utility companies provide natural gas, electricity, water, sewage, and other basic necessities for both residential and commercial properties. While many companies in the utility sector make a profit, they are typically heavily regulated by public authorities. Current, Currently, prices are based on your usage and the unit price per skill. Next, we have Airways has expanded its fleet. Our local airlines is now also flying to Miami, Amsterdam, and Paramaribo. Then we have a health and safety update. Urdega has been off to a good start. For this year, there has been only 5 deadly traffic accidents, which is down from last year when we had 20 around this time of the year. Lastly, Isla Oil and Gas predict a profit of 50 million Surinamese dollars this year, largely due to the oil price at 100 Surinamese dollars a barrel. It looks like a very profitable year. This has been the Urdega news for round 1. We will be back for more news in round 2. See you then.
All right, I hope everybody can hear me clearly. Welcome to the Urdega Game. We're here, back office, setting everything up. So there are a couple of questions, so we're gonna answer those questions right now. And the questions are concerning the gameplay. So we'll be answering some of the questions. So how does the form on the website work? The game support website form works as follows. You ask questions there, and around every half hour, we'll come in here and we'll answer those questions. The game has already started. What do you have to do? You have to find your way and find solutions and find out how everything works. It's kind of similar to a real life examples. Whereas if you know somebody in another group, you might actually send them an app individually. That's a great way to connect with other groups. If you know who you know in other groups, feel free to contact them directly through WhatsApp. Um, what? How do we do payments to the other companies? You have to do that through your person. There's one Surinamese person in every group, meaning there's one MoPay holder in every group. That's the way you make payments to other groups. So that's very important. Know that there's one person in your group who has access to MoPay. One MoPay is equals 1 million SRD. So again, make sure to make the payments directly. So that's another great way. Um, how do the codes for the how do we get codes for the payments? DigiConnect, you have to pay the World Bank a certain amount of money. And when you make that payment, you'll get a code. And with that code, we'll assure that your message that you want to send to everybody on the landing page, that it comes on the landing page through the Twitter feed. So this is very important. For people who want to have their message in the Twitter feed, you have to pay DigiConnect. And DigiConnect in their own, they are the only ones who can actually access the Twitter feed or can put messages there. So that's important to know. So you send to the World Bank the amount of money that's included in the game and the message that you want to send out. And once the payment is validated, the message will be posted there. So that's just something you need to take in consideration. Is there a platform created where we can communicate with other departments? Yes, actually, for the government, the ministries, there is an extra breakout room available. You just have to ask tech support for it, and the presidential office has an extra breakout room available. Just like the Lao Che School has an extra breakout room available. So make use of that extra breakout room. So that's how you provide paid lectures and webinars to make money for the school. The Lal Chase actually has a breakout room, and they can give access to that breakout room by the people that actually paid for those sessions to them. Um, so, which email address do we use making payments, and how do you go about creating an advisory board? Very important to know there is an advisory board. The presidential office appoints that board. So you decide. You can pick from every sector one person, and you can build that board. And that's also a separate breakout room. So make use of those in the next round. Um, how do you partner with other groups and companies? Quite easily. You just contact them and say, hey, this is what deal we can provide for you. Just remember, nobody, unless it's mentioned by the communicator, there are no standing obligations. So if you're going to do a partnership, make sure it's a win-win and people can profit from it. How do we access our Bitcoin or do transfers? Okay, this is very important. About 9 organizations have created a Bitcoin address. Once you've created a Bitcoin address, you still have to deposit money. So you have to go to the exchange and actually deposit money. I can't disclose fully how it works, but it's really important that you know that. So once you have a Bitcoin address, then you go to exchange and you exchange SRD for Bitcoin based on the price that's available on the game website. Keep that in mind. And once you have that, that's the only time. Then you can go to the payment form. You can try payments with Bitcoin without actually exchanging for any Bitcoin, but you won't be able to actually pay the transactions won't go through. Also, to buy Bitcoin, you need to have your own wallet. So you have to use your wallet address to actually purchase Bitcoin. And how do we access our Bitcoin? I just mentioned that. How much is 3,000 in MoPay? 3,000 in MoPay doesn't exist. The minimum SRD budget in Mopay is 10,000. So 10,000 simulated Rotaract dollars is 1 Mopay cent. Keep that in mind. If 1 million SRD is 1 Mopay, 10,000 SRD is 1 Mopay cent. So 1 Mopay cent is the minimum amount. So there is no way to have less than 10,000 SRD as a payment. I hope that answers most of your questions. We are still waiting on the presidential address. We're still waiting for the presidential address. So the president should come back office and the link provided, the Urdega link, behind the scenes link. And with that link, the president can address the public. So hopefully there are other questions. Who is the World Bank? The World Bank is the person who sent money to your Bopay holder in your group. So that's the person. If you have to pay the World Bank, you have to pay the account that actually provided you the starting capital to start your game. If there are any questions, I'm here for maybe 2 more minutes, so you can ask in the YouTube section. You can ask a question if you still have another question. For those who missed the news, we're gonna rebroadcast the news from first round. So Talita and Tiffany, I hope you are ready. We're gonna rebroadcast the news from the first round here as well. And after that, we hope that the president is ready to address the public because we're all waiting on the president to address the country. Okay, so again, the question that was asked, who's the World Bank? The World Bank is a separate institution who provides the game capital to start the game. And can the Ministry of Justice demand payment from us? The Ministry of Justice can demand payment from you if the government actually told the Ministry of Justice that you have to pay them. So that is something I think the Ministry of Justice comes in play when you have really not paid anything like your taxes or anything for a certain amount of time. Okay, we're gonna move on with the game. Round two is about to start, so the price changes for round two will be shared on the website in about a minute, and we'll have news. A news segment from round one will be available once again. Thank you for watching, and stay tight right until the news comes back.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the news broadcast. So, Ariela Cromotico is now officially president of Urdega. The people have voted, and for the next 5 years, she will be leading our nation. Stay tuned as after today's news, the president will make her first official appearance. Urdega has officially become a member of the CARICOM. The Caribbean Community and Common Market is a group of 20 developing countries in the Caribbean that have worked together, that have come together to form an economic, political community that works together to shape policies for the region and encourages economic growth and trade. The Caribbean Community and Common Market (CARICOM) is a regional group of nations that encourages common policies and economic goals. CARICOM was formed in 1973 and consists of 20 nations, including 15 full-time members, 5 associates members, one of the CARICOM current goals is to establish a free trade zone and single market for increased trade and economic growth in the region. My co news host will continue.
Good morning, everyone. I am Tiffany Young, and I am the co-news host of Urdega News. Next, we have rumors have been floating around that the UUC is considering increasing the prices of electricity. Companies provide natural gas, electricity, water, sewage, and other basic necessities for both residential and commercial properties. While many companies in the utility sector make a profit, they are typically heavily regulated by public authorities. Currently, prices are based on your usage and the unit price per skill. Next, we have Caribbean Airways has expanded its fleet. Our local airlines is now also flying to Miami, Amsterdam, and Paramaribo. Then we have a health and safety update. Ortiga has been off to a good start. For this year, there have been only 5 deadly traffic accidents, which is down from last year when we had 20 around this time of the year. And lastly, Isla Oil and Gas predict a profit of 50 million 50 million Surinamese dollars this year, largely due to the oil price at 1,000 Surinamese a barrel. It looks like a very profitable year. This has been the Erdogan news for round one. We will be back for more news in round two. See you then.
Measures. So I think I own,
lower the utilities.
Yes, I think I'm on.
When I spoke to CARICOM, they don't advise that
So
we
I think
privatize hospitals, lower the utilities. and doing so might cause a bigger strain on the country. So
Guys,
decided to tell our components. Right, but so what this said.
so good afternoon to the public of the nation of Urdega. I would just like to thank you all for taking the time to tune into this live broadcast. Thank you for putting me in office. In the next 5 years, I intend to work with the various stakeholders in the government to work towards stabilizing the economy through implementing some new economically friendly um, measures that include renewable energy, etc., to help the country absorb some of its costs. We would also consider getting financing from some international nations and see how best we could stabilize the economy in the next 5 years. I think that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, welcome back to another live broadcast, the Urdega live broadcast. We're still here. We're thrilled, still trying our best to get the game up and running. We're into round two, and it's going a little bit more smoothly than in round one. That's good to see. We're heading into a break now. There is still a news item for round two, and there's also a presidential address for round two as well. So those are the things that are going on. We do have a couple of more questions. One question: are personal numbers to be used for the MoPay deposit payments? Once again, every group has one person that has access to MoPay, and that person has to make the MoPay payments for that group. So that's important to keep in mind. Um, there are different ways to pay. Of course, the MoPay version is the official way for the game. And for those of you who are wondering, do we have some Bitcoin transactions already? It's important to know you cannot use the payment platform for Bitcoin if you don't actually have Bitcoin in your wallet. So if you want to have Bitcoin in your wallet, you have 10 more minutes, I think, to buy Bitcoin at the current price, the price that is actually stated on the website for round two. So if you still want to buy Bitcoin for that price, you still have about 10 minutes to go to the exchange and make your first purchase. Try to buy your first Bitcoin. So those are the two things that are popping up. I'm going to quickly look in the YouTube chat if there are any more questions. Um, can the can a Bitcoin be repeated? I'm not sure what is meant by that, but you can buy a bit and sell Bitcoin every round. So that's important to know. But the price will fluctuate every round. The price will fluctuate for raw, the price will fluctuate for gold, and the price will fluctuate for oil. Now, if you are not able to buy oil or gold or raw, go to the groups that are actually able to buy those. So if you know a group that's able to buy gold, you can try to buy gold through them. Uh, we need justice from the Ministry of Justice. Yes, you do. And you can hold the Justice Department accountable, but you can also hold the President accountable, who will be addressing you after today's news. Okay, the question is not can it be repeated, but can it be bought partially? Yes, on the website you will see that there's a minimum amount of Bitcoin you can buy for each round. So the minimum buy-in for this round is 0.167 Bitcoin. And again, you can go to the final tab on the screen. So if you go all the way down on the website, you'll see a transaction log, and you can actually see the transactions that have happened. So everything that has taken part on the blockchain, you can actually see what's going to happen. You cannot see who is purchasing that because that's actually those are anonymous wallets, but you can see the amount or the things that they are doing on the blockchain. So that's some final information for me. I'm hoping the news team is ready to go. And if they are ready, we will move on. Again, the question is being asked again, who's the World Bank? The World Bank is an independent organization that you either get money from or you have to pay. Most of you have to pay the Public's Bank because that's the local bank in Ardega, but some of you have to pay the World Bank or have to receive money from the World Bank. So, how does the log sheet work? The log sheet works very simple, Darren. The log sheet just shows the transactions that have been successful on the blockchain. So if you go to the log, transaction log, you will only see transactions that have been considered valid, and you can see what the process is. If it's being initiated, if it's actually final, when it's a success, you will see that the wallets that are created have already a number called written success behind it because they have been successfully created. So the people that have created wallets can go to the exchange and exchange MoPay or SRD for Bitcoin. And then once you've done that, then you can go to the pay sheet and try to pay other people based on the amount you have. So you cannot send 25 Bitcoin to somebody else if you don't actually have 25 Bitcoin in your wallet. Again, the question, what is the price of the Bitcoin? You can find that on the website, on the game website. It states the price for each round, and this round is closing in 5 to 10 minutes. So please keep that in mind. That means that if you have payments to make, utility payments to make, if you have to pay salaries, it's time to pay those salaries now. Um, I see the president's also already waiting in the green room. So we'll go to the news first, and after that, we have the presidential address. Thank you for watching, and good luck with the game.
Hi, we are back with some news. There's crisis in Urdega. The oil price has dropped to a new low as oil goes from 400 Surinamese dollars a barrel. This has affected life in Urdega as the government will most likely have to raise the government take on oil to compensate for the losses. The price of RAW is up. This means that prices in the stores are up and food will become a bit more expensive. Talita will continue with the rest of the news.
Fire Festival, a big event that was supposed to be held in Urdega flops. The festival, which was headlines major international artists and had plans to revive the economy of Urdega, fell through as the organization was in way over their head. Local athlete Paulo Nico breaks world record after the Elite Plan American Track Cycling Championships in Bolivia. This has been the Ergata News for round 2. We will be back for more news in round 3. See you then.
Hello, good afternoon, citizens of Urdega. Thanks for taking the time to tune in to this live broadcast. In this segment, I would just like to open the floor to members of the public to basically type in and let me know what are some of the concerns that you all are having as a nation. I know we're in some tough financial times given the prices of oil and the decline, and I am just going to open the floor up to you. So you all could just type your questions in the chat below. So no questions. Um, can CARICOM tax US at URI? Can CARICOM tax what exactly? I'm not too sure, Ms. Budu Singh, what exactly is the question that you're asking here. I would have to pass this on to the Minister of Finance. Any other questions? If we have no other questions, I would just like to thank you all for speaking and tuning in to this live broadcast, and thanks for all the questions. Now I have to rush back to office.